everyone. So today we are playing once again, continuing with what we were playing before. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. More specifically, the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. Let's get on with it. Let me just turn the music off. And where is the controller? Okay. Turn the music on and we go. Changing to the cases, Kojima's death. He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream. Thank you for the follow, forgetters. These handcuffs. You think I did it? You think I'm Kojima's killer? When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside. What do you mean? There's no access to the cabin via portal window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls. What? Or to put it in another way, the culprit can only have been somebody inside this cabin. Or do you have some other explanation? This is impossible. How did he die then? What happened exactly? Still going to deny the charge, even despite the circumstances? Please, Susato-san, you have to tell me. The cause of death is still undetermined. They don't know how he died. Ship's doctor is examining the body, but of course, he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call. So, presumably that means there were no obvious external signs of injury then. That's true, yes. Incident. Can anyone tell me what exactly happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kojima? Presumably that's something you know the answer to better than anyone. Please. Whatever you say, you were here in the cabin after all. Well, yes, I was, but... He would always wake before dawn and do his training first thing in the morning. I was waiting outside his cabin, as I have every day so far on this voyage. This morning, he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't. Does that mean he was already dead when Susato-san arrived at his cabin door, I wonder? I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open, and when he managed to get inside, there was Kazuma-sama, collapsed on the floor. And white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe. It's all very hard to believe for me too, trust me. told you everything that I know. So it's my turn to ask you a question. Yes, alright. My head feels so heavy. Still throbbing like anything. It's stowaway. Why are you even on board this ship, Naruhodō-san? Said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, yes, I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and I've been shut up in this cabin this entire time. I had no idea. How could you have occupied Kazuma-sama's cabin for so long without him noticing? No, that would have been impossible, obviously. Yes, of course. Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together. He actually asked you? But why? I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. I don't understand. Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you? It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer yourself. Well, yes, you did say that. And I didn't think you were serious. You have a talent for it. I can assure you of that. I've never really thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development. The center of the world in many ways. There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can they? Can there? Well, no, definitely not. But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then... Then what? Nothing. Forget it. Huh? Kazuma-sama is always saying the same thing. That he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you. Yes, maybe. Something's still bothering me a little. The look in his eyes then. It was darker than I ever seen it before. Susato-san? I'm sorry that we kept it a secret from you. My stowing away on this ship, I mean. If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect he was trying to protect me. To avoid me becoming guilty by association. That's exactly right, yes. Word perfect, in fact. Last night. If you're not the culprit, then tell me. What happened last night here in this cabin? Well, the thing is, I don't really remember. Kazuma brought me something to eat, just like he always did. And then I got myself into that wardrobe over there, just like I always did. After that, I fell asleep. Well, yes. So deeply that you didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed? Well, yes. I know it sounds unbelievable. Really, I do. But it's the truth. If only I'd woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. For some reason, My head's still throbbing like anything. Really? Is something wrong? Oh, no, it's... Please forget it. Susato-san, you have to believe me. I didn't do it. I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there is no one else who could possibly have done this. Kazuma, I don't understand. Why? Why did this have to happen? I can't take this. Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen. I'm sorry. Kazuma was killed right under my nose here. And I didn't do anything to stop it. Now I'm supposed to just sit around, my hands tied, while whoever did this walks free? No, I can't allow that to happen. Well, what do you propose to do then? I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. I'm going to work out who took Kazuma's life, and how and why they did it. So I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me. Yeah! What the? That was a Susato takedown. Susato toss. Takedown. Susato what? What martial art form is that? I'm going to need you to prove it. Sorry? Prove it? Yes, your innocence. I need evidence. But how am I supposed to? Have you forgotten already what you achieved just a few weeks ago? You successfully defended yourself in a court of law. I see. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence. I have to get Susato-san to believe me. I'll show her some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of this awful crime. Yes! Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors? Oh, yes, it was. I remember clearly. I thought so. Kazuma always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there, just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, he did the same last night as well. Yes, of course! The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them. But if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck these on the outside of the doors on my own. Yes, that's quite true. In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma. Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can't see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you. Thank you, Susato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up? Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here at least. Thank you. So you finally believe me? I'm sorry. No. What? I'm not sure yet. Can't rule out the possibility that you use some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position. What does she think I am? What does she think I am? Magician? For now, I suggest we investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same. Alright, let's get to work, Tsuhato-san. Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts. Oh. I shall be watching you to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. I wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example. Right. Well, anyway, I should make a start on investigating in here. Examine everything I can. Kazuma, I swear, I will avenge your death. What do you think this is? What do you think this is? It looks like a broken piece of glassware. Whatever the thing was, it appears to have broken cleaning too. The glass is such a beautiful color. Looks like a cute little Natsuki fastener for a kimono outfit. Not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him, would he? The mark beside it. What is it, I wonder? It has a sort of brick-like hue. Yes, you're right. It is the color of brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in this cabin. Oh dear, that won't do. Oh, what's the matter, Susato-san? Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused, I forget to look around properly. Yes, that's not good. Don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruhodō-san? I'm sure you're careful to look around, all around using the D-pad, aren't you? Now let's investigate all corners of this cabin. Yes, let's do that. I suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. No, I want to see the books. Books have fallen over the shelf. Look! Look! They've all toppled the same way. What's this? Statue of some god of the sea? Although he's fallen over as well. Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked and everything mown down at once. I wonder if... perhaps it was Kazuma-sama doing his morning sword training, do you think? I seriously doubt it. And perhaps... it was you, Naruhodō-san! In a fit of rage? I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe, just mess up a few books and a statue. Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder? Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Puria. It's essentially a list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. What? Why are you staring at me? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? I can't decide. Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here. Seiki, the Japanese word for justice. Brushstrokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma. Yes, his calligraphy always has a reflection of his heart. Yet you can't really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing you drew them so thoughtfully. course I can. I mean, I'm innocent, so why won't I be able to? Even though he's stowed away on this ship. Now you're going to bring that up, are you? I can't win. That's my dinner from last night. Roast chicken. It was really tasty. Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But did you eat it on the floor here? I'm not a dog, Susato-san. I ate at the table, of course. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor. Kazuma-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he? Nope, that's right. So he didn't touch it. Which meant all the more for me. Oh no, does that mean what Kazuma-sama spent his last night on his HERR with an empty belly? Just too horrible. Now I suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach. There's nothing on this table at all. Plate and cutlery are all over the floor for some reason. Yes, it's strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still... No, wait a minute. What is it? That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all. So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama? No. Okay, I'm going to look at the sword. That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. Never went anywhere without it. Yes, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul. I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this trip. I suppose that shows just how important it was to him. Now he's gone. I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. Did Kazuma write that before he died? Looks like it's written in ink. Must have been knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. Then I suppose he wrote this message by dipping his finger in the spillage. Lord Kazuma-sama, no doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine it. I suppose he was trying to leave some kind of a clue in his final moments, was he? I'm sorry, partner. I can read your writing. I don't think that's Japanese, Naruhodō-san. What? Then what language is it? Pain me to admit it, but I don't know. It's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean, I wonder? I'm going to talk to him before I investigate the other part. Let us just see what this Russian crewman makes of the crimes of the scene of the crime. Excuse me. What? I was wondering how it's going, the investigation, I mean. Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes, but it is not true, I see. Sorry? The criminal asking investigator for information about this crime? Very funny. Oh, it wasn't supposed to be a joke. He doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty. Might have useful information though. Have to keep trying. So last night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all? Yeah, of course not. Now back to the corner of the room and make silent. I say no more to you. Did I hit a nerve? Just for a minute there, he seemed a little flustered. I'm going to check. When I went to her help and the crewman forced the door open, this bolt had been firmly closed. It's quite a small bolt, not particularly sturdy. It just slides across from to secure the door shut. Still, with the door bolted, there will be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. When she glares at me like that, I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once in a detective novel, culprit uses a needle and a thread to draw a bolt across from the outside of a room in a situation like this. Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. But the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal and they sew together perfectly. There will be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. When she glares at me like that, I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. That's a very large traveling case, isn't it? Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me. Memories? What do you mean? Well, that's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on board inside that case. Ah yes, I see it says this way up in Japanese. Which in hindsight, I should have realized the foreign crewman would be able to read. I was turned over and over and over. Then I was tossed on the floor in here. Oh dear, being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. Well, it was less painful than a society takedown. You can see the ink. Fine. This is where the Kazuma-sama would have sat whenever he was writing. London Diary. Poor Kazuma. He didn't even make it to his destination. It looks as though the last entry is incomplete. Which means... what? He was in the middle of writing when the incident happened? Let's see what it says. It could be a valuable clue. Yeah! That's out of the question. What? Kazuma may have departed this world, which must not read his private thoughts. But that's what is something important. But if it's something important, something relevant to the case. Alright, I won't read it. Poor Kazuma-sama. I don't like prying into people's personal matters either. In this case, isn't the need for clues more important? I'll check that later. It's been 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruhodō? I think living isn't quite the right description. Oh no, I suppose not. Although it must have been rather exciting making this voyage in our own secret hideout. The trouble was, I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So yes, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. Last night was no exception. Because of that, you have no idea what was happening out here in the cabin. No, sadly not. This is... yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think. What do you mean, contraption? I read about it in a book I was studying that talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like these, which you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants. Really? That sounds almost magical. Shall we give it a little try? Yes! In the interest of cultural research, obviously. I suppose nobody counts for lowly Japanese people. No, I'm sure it's just that everyone's busy, that's all. I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin. Isn't that a little odd? What do you mean? Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it must connect to the next door cabin. Yes, it will appear to. You're right. But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it should be connected to the outside. That's true. Perhaps it's so that rain and spray don't find their way in when the seas are rough. Or something like that. I suppose. Maybe that's it. Seriously? Sure, airlock? Who's that? He wasn't there a minute ago. As far as I can tell, it looks like he might be European. Oh, how did he? You've noticed the man too, have you? I have no idea who he is, or how he got in here. But he looks suspicious, and tall. Suspiciously tall. Naruhodō-san, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is? Well, no. I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. Doesn't look like a member of the crew. There's something very unusual about him. Is he investigating Kazuma's desk, or is he just playing on it? I can tell. Well, in that case, I simply must talk with him. Am I just imagining it, or does Susato-san look almost uncontrollably excited? By the way, I expect that you've noticed already, but just in case, if you press A on people when they're in the crosshairs, you can converse with them. Alright then, I'll get that suspiciously tall gentleman in my sights and see what he has to say for himself. Oh, please do. Excuse me. Excuse me. Do you have a moment? Shh. This is a critical point in my investigation. Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly. And perhaps that would be for best. Greetings! I hope I didn't keep you for long. Huh? What exactly were you doing on Kazuma's desk just now? Ha! I see! Fascinating! Sorry, what do you see? Feel like it's looking right through me. Oh yes, everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry? What? Now, whilst venturing toward fun climbs, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Oh, well, that's true at least. But how? How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It was really a most elementary deduction, hardly worth explaining. Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? But of course, a great many things. There is no mystery, my dear madam. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being as you are a merciless revolutionary. You have 16 victims of assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. And when the very bold occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. No way to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. Just to be clear, you are talking about me, are you? Certainly I am. Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? I don't even see one person who fits the bill. So it's true. It was you who did this to Kazuma-sama. What? And you're plotting a revolution too! It's shameful behavior, Naruhodō-san. Absolutely wicked. No. Listen, there's no way I... Ah, yeah! Explain yourself, tell me everything. It is ridiculous. How could you do it? For pity's sakes, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously. Oh, forgive me. And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head. But was I not right? Whilst venturing towards foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, you do you not? Well, yes, maybe. There you have it, you see. What do you make of that? Well, to be honest, this ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So, I'm not really sure you could call it deduction. It's more plain observation. Indeed, an observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I love my findings with a brassy certitude. And more often than not, I'm right. I don't think you introduced yourself. My apologies. How remiss of me. I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women all the world over. The inimitable Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes. So it's really you, the actual Sherlock Holmes? Sherlock Holmes? I'm going to call you Sherlock Holmes because I'm messing the name up. The very same, the inimitable actual Sherlock Holmes. Do you know this man, Susato-san? The most famous detective in the world? Naruhodō-san. Of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. What planet have I been living on then? You must ask him what is the deuce. You will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. Sure. Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? Be right back. Just let me turn the music off. Okay, I'm back. I just change scene. So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? Indeed, I'm none other than the one and only Sherlock Holmes. Oh, I see, you're Sherlock Holmes, because this joke only works if I call him Herlock. Sherlock Holmes. Oh, I see, you're German. Herlock, was it? No, it has no I mean, I have air. Please call me Holmes. I'm going to call you Holmes. Still. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication, the Rents magazine. Oh yes, Rents magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interest articles from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I was sent from England specially. Ah yes, there it is. The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. So you're the protagonist in a series of short stories then? Indeed I am! When you've read so many of your own stories, you start to think you really are a detective. Make no mistake, I am not the poor little fellow you take me for. Your inference is backward. Backward? My trusty biographer records my greatest detective achievements and chronicles them in the magazine. You have a biographer, do you? There isn't everyone. Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London. Dr. Wilson? Watson? Man? I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. Why, at this very moment, I am returning from Major, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. Really? I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Deduction, you see, it's to be a science, logical reasoning in its purest form. Science? Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reaction in his subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture, fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows in the skin, all these things are data. Right. And a frail logician makes deductions from this data in a blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. How can you look me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have returned both for observation and for deduction. And fame. That is what makes me the one and only Sherlock Holmes. Cosmo's dead. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything? My dear fellow! Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right! It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. I see. In other words, I'm in this now because of him. And I became anxious about Kazuma-sama this morning. I summoned all of the crew members to force the cabin door open. And I concealed myself amongst their number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Yes! Luckily for everyone, the great detective Sherlock Holmes was on board. And the end gives it be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodō. The very moment I laid eyes on the sea, the facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh, really? 2 facts, you say? Mr. Holmes, tell us, please. What the facts were apparent to you when you came into the cabin this morning? Ah, yes. But first let us be precise. The 2 facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yes, I understand. What were they? Allow me to elucidate. 2 facts that I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number 1, the cabin was locked from within, rendering the escape of the culprit out of the question. Number 2, the victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. Hold on, Mr. Holmes. What make you think the victim was Russian? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. It is the Russian word for wardrobe. Do you really think Kazuma-sama could have left a dying message in Russian? In the final moments, many find their native tongue still in their head. For this young man, Russian. Kazuma was Russian, was he? Initially, I considered Gardelord maybe the name of the killer. A certain Robert Gard, perhaps? But in the interest of fairness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe there at least. Where he found Mr. Naruhodō sleeping soundly. Quite so, I found you. The renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why it is that I'm Russian too. I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. If my memory serves, the outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people. School uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea. And I had no idea the detective could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim and the message. Then I might analyze it for possible hidden details. This deal was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, before the body was removed. Yes, Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodō? Oh, yes, thank you. Photograph of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. Can I ask you something, Mr. Holmes? What, pray? You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that? Ah, yes, the train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think? I don't remember how to read it anyway. Certainly, if it interests you. How many times? I'm not Russian and I don't speak Russian. And can you talk about your introduction before? Things you concluded about me, I mean. The now famously accurate troubling predicament you find yourself in? Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and the assassin of 16 part? Ah yes, the more solid details. It was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads: Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered. Since when was Kazuma Russian? Sounds like Mr. Holmes has concluded he was Russian because of what Kazuma Summer wrote on the floor. It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who would kill the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you, villain Bolshevik. No, how could it be me? I don't look at anything like this man, just look at his face. Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well. Please. And I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway. What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination blowing up the Crystal Tower. Ah yes, the journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far and those he is plotting. Yes, everything about the revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake. The revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder. And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also, I clearly stated here in the article. Bolshevik is recently returned after a period of subversive activities in the war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is it anyway? This Afghanistan place. Here, take the paper for yourself, as a little memento of this great deduction. Oh, thank you. I will show all that is of interest to me within its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby. The article about the revolutionary has been entered into the court record. And you might find the article on the back page of interest as well. On the back? Cast your eye over it sometime if the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret. It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. I'm looking. Can't find anything out of place. I'm afraid I can't read a word of Russian. No, me neither. I have no idea what any of this says. Pair of you floundering is a sorry sight. Allow me to offer some assistance. The article on the front page of this newspaper is concerned with the fearsome Russian revolutionary. It reads, Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. Yes, you told us that before. It reveals also that those who see the man's beard with their own eyes never live to tell the tale. Oh my goodness, he is fearsome. Well, presumably the newspaper photographer was alright, wasn't he? The solution is obvious, of course. If he despises his beard to that degree, he need only shave it off. I'm not quite sure that's a problem, Mr. Holmes. This is interesting. Have you found something relevant, Naruhodō-san? Well, no, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting. I can't read a single word, I'm afraid. No, nor can I. But look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess. Do you think? She's very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like these, do you? I don't know, I can't make any sense of it. Ah, I'm glad you've noticed this article. Ah! Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. Pops up everywhere, this Mr. Holmes. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova. I heard the Russian name so hard to remember. To appear, the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room, wearing the diamond tiara you see picture, which is worth some 20,000 rubles. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles? I have no idea, but I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money. Susan's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. The tiara is the property of Novovich Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with her worry. Yes, I'm not surprised. Company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They've requested international assistance at all ports with selling to Great Britain. Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing east or her country? It does seem to be the Russian thing to do. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruhodō. Sorry, you just made me laugh. What were you just investigating? Before we started talking, you were examining Kazma's desk, weren't you? Kazma? Ah, yes, the victim. Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. We see that the victim was engaged in penning some text. London diary. Kazma was keeping notes of the trip. Ah, but I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people. Tragic, and something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading. You mean you've read it already? It is my business to know what part other people's do not. Yes, I believe it or not. Yes, believe it or not. I know a smattering of Japanese. Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what the Susato takedown is. Susato-san? Aren't you going to throw detective with one of your trademark takedowns? I'm sorry, Naruhodō-san. What on earth do you mean? Life is so unfair. Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim. It will appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author was cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray be precise as to details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. A smattering, good boy, a smattering. Sayonara, bonsai, mikado, nado, I trust you're suitably impressed. But this diary is littered with complicated looking characters, of which I can read precisely none. So, what was all that showing off about before then? If you'll be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Holmes. I must oblige, my dear madam. The final entry in Kazuma's diary consists of two short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. Whistling sound? These are very deep waters. Play, go on. The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looked like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Speckled band? What on earth does that mean? I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before. The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring to the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yes, the adjoining cabin. Kazuma's diary had been entered into the court record. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being at last. Do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe. And if I'm still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Oh, I suppose. Well, think of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to. Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate, as the truth will become clear soon enough. You think perhaps that we could go with you? No, that will be somewhat complicated. But why? A simple glance at your list should reveal the answer. Oh, these. So, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No? There's no point trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. You must be joking. You just said it only a moment ago. Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mrs. Holmes, I did hear you say that too. You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I would have said you had the face of a criminal, you know. Not really. So what were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. Well, anyway, that was then and this is now. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Now it's just being plain rude. And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as sweetest as his name. Naruhodō-san, what are you just standing there for? We must go and investigate the cabin next door as well. Aren't you forgetting something? And about this, there's no way I can... Yeah! Oh, yeah! After Kazuma-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You're just going to roll over and accept your fate? As if you gave me any choice in the rolling over part. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to sleep next door. Good idea! Situation doesn't look good for me. There are still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this. Bring the real culprit to justice. that... Something wrong, Naruhodō-san? Oh, no, it's just that crewman standing by the door. I can't help feeling like I've seen him somewhere before. Oh yes, you're right. Does look familiar. Excuse me, sir. Yes? What can I do for you? I recognize that face, but it can't be. It is! I didn't know you were here, Inspector Osonaga. Hello again. What are you doing here? I think that should be my lie. I was so stunned when I saw you. My heart stopped. Nearly stopped, I hope. You received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew aboard this ship. Again? You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector. Is there anything I can do to help you? Please ask. I never expected to see these men on board. Perhaps the President can help me out of this hopeless situation. Well, I'm thinking... yeah. I'm going to stop right here. Let me just save. And guys, all I have to say right now is until next time, thanks for watching.